Hello, what's up? How's it going? This is just a warning in case you're looking up a hospital to go to in the Wareham area. Don't, under any circumstances, go to Tobey Hospital in Wareham, Massachusetts. It is the worst healthcare facility of any kind I've been to on the planet. And this is not just something that is cropped up because of coronavirus or something like that. This is now my second experience there. And every time I go there, I get the worst service I've ever seen in my life. I'll give you a couple of examples, and I'll prove it right now that I was just there. Okay, so this is my hand. It's still bleeding. Okay, I have 4 puncture wounds. You can even see one there on my thumb. Another one under there. Another one up here somewhere. 4 puncture wounds. And obviously I'm still bleeding out. Okay, here's my, hold on, show my little tag. I can't hold the phone on my other hand. But you can see tag. Okay. I was just at, where's the thing? South Shore, was it say on there Tobey anywhere? I don't know. I was just fucking there today. At Tobey Hospital. Okay? It hurts. It's fine, whatever. I've had way worse injuries. It just sucks because I'm moving literally Saturday, and now I can't pack or carry any fucking boxes. That's not the problem. All right, so I get in there, and I'm bleeding so badly from these 4 puncture wounds that I'm filling up a towel full of blood. Like, I've covered the front porch of my house in blood. I've covered one of my cars in blood, my whole, kitchen with blood, and I'm bleeding out profusely. I go into Tobey Hospital today, into their ER. They then made me sit there and take out my, insurance card and everything else and all this crap at registration. And then they stick me in the waiting room. The hospital's empty. It's absolutely empty. Okay? So they move me to the waiting room, and I'm sitting there for, I shit you not, 20 minutes. How did I get punctured? I got bit by a dog. My dog escaped my backyard and went after another dog, and I stupidly put my hand in there because I was trying to separate the 2 dogs. And I was just trying to be proactive about it, and I stupidly put my hand in the middle of a dog fight, and I got my hand bit up by the other dog. Brutus didn't bite me, the other dog did. Brutus is fine, by the way. I'm the only one who got injured in this thing. Their dog's fine. My dog's fine. I'm the one who got injured. So, all the dogs are fine. Don't worry about that. Brutus is at the vet right now. He has a tiny scratch above his eye. I stupidly got 4 deep puncture wounds. And now I can't grab both hind legs next. I know. I wasn't thinking, and it was just like one of those in the moment things. Luckily, I did it with my left hand and not my right hand. So I can at least write things, and so I at least have access to my right hand still, even though I'm left-handed for a bunch of things. But regardless, so I go into the hospital. They make me sit in the waiting room for 20 minutes while I'm bleeding. They don't offer me any painkillers. They don't offer me anything. They don't look at it to make sure I'm okay. I'm literally, I walk into an ER with blood pouring out of me, and they make me go sit in the waiting room with no one checking on me for 20 minutes. And the waiting room is completely empty. Empty. No one came in the whole time I was there. Not one person. So I bust out my camera to film, because I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm sitting here bleeding out in this waiting room, and there's no one in here for coronavirus, yet they have all these stupid regulations in place. Like, every person that walks in gets a temperature scan by some video thing that you saw Karen there who came over and yelled at me. What happened with that was, wait for this story. So they come over and they see me filming there, and the lady's like, "You need to stop filming," which I didn't know. There's no signs up anywhere saying you can't film. You know, it's a public waiting area for, I believe, a publicly paid for hospital. And I'm just sitting there noting how there's no one there. We're in the middle of this crisis pandemic. You know, they have businesses shut down, but there's no one in the hospital. So the lady yells at me, and you see her storm off. Do you know what she went and did? She got the police. So she walked away from me on video, as you see there, and went around the little corner and got the cop. And then the cop came over and started yelling at me to delete the video. And then the nurse, because they were finally ready to see me all of a sudden, came over to see me, to take me into the back room. And the officer refused to let me go get seen by the doctor before I deleted the video. He wanted me to delete the video before getting medical service. Sure did. And so did the lady at the front desk. The lady that was the Karen who walked away, the lady at the registry, and the doctor all refused to let me go into the back and get medical care before I deleted that video. So I pretended to delete it. I deleted a video that was like on my camera of like, you know, I just like quickly deleted a video. And then I showed him, I was like, here's my camera videos. There's no video anymore. What they didn't realize was I had uploaded it to YouTube live. So after I showed them I deleted the video, they finally took me in the back, and then they stuck me in a room for another 20 minutes with no care. None. No one came in to check. No one came in to see. They just stuck me in a room. Does that I don't know, does this sound like good medical practice? A guy comes in bleeding profusely from the hand. You never look at the wound. You stick him in the waiting room for 20 minutes. You refuse to give him medical service unless he deletes a video off his phone. And then you take him in the back and shove him in some room in the middle of nowhere. Meanwhile, the entire ER is empty. There's no one else being served that I can hear or see from any of this. And then they finally come in, and I will give it, the people who came in were nice. The people who came in and talked to me, like the doctor and the nurses, very friendly, very nice. And I was talking to one of the guys who's like this, you know, Chad looking dude who's got like tats everywhere and stuff. And him and I were joking. I was like, yo, so how many patients do you guys have in here for coronavirus right now? And the nurse was like, or I think he was a nurse, he was like, 0. We shipped the last coronavirus patient out of Tobey Hospital 2 weeks ago. So they have no coronavirus patients in their completely empty coronavirus wing. And then him and the other nurse that came in to give me the tetanus shot started getting into it. They started arguing. I should have pulled out my phone and filmed this, but I was already kind of in trouble for filming. So the one guy I'm talking to with the tats, like this younger dude, is now arguing with this older boomer who's trying to stick me with a tetanus vaccine. And the younger chat guy is like, it's all nonsense. It's all BS. And the older guy's like, no, it's not. I know. I waited on 5 people who died. And the guy was like, well, not in this hospital. And the guy just gave him a look, and he goes, the only reason you believe in it is because you're a Democrat and you support Hillary Clinton. And the old boomer was like, well, Hillary Clinton would have made a better president than Donald Trump. It was so goddamn funny. I was like just sitting there like, and this dude, like, I couldn't really say much because this dude's about to stick me with a needle. So I'm sitting there just like, do I chime in or what? So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm chiming in. I don't care. I don't care if he sticks me in the wrong vein with this thing or what. But I'm like, all right. So I'm like, you know, I've been traveling all around the country, and I have a YouTube channel, like a whole bunch of subscribers, and none of them ever have reported like knowing anyone that died or knowing anyone that's sick with this thing. It seems like a big scam to me. And then the the old boomer doctor and the other guy just like, I forget how it ended at that point, but they kind of like said something to each other again about the left versus right thing. And then the Chad like nurse walked out of the room, and the old boomer stuck me with the tetanus vaccine or the tetanus shot or whatever. So I guess you have to get that if you get bit by a dog. And then they're like, is that dog up on all its shots that bit you? So I had to find that out. And they wanted to stick me with like another like 30 fucking needles or something. But turns out that dog was like a rescue dog that bit me and just had all its shots like 3 weeks ago. So they have like a record of that. So I don't have to get like the 30 fucking wizard potions shoved into my arm. I just had to get the one tetanus shot. So. And oh yeah, I'm completely now basically disabled from carrying shit, and I'm moving on Saturday. This has been a good week for me. I've been banned on Twitter for the whole week. I've been banned on my main YouTube channel. And now I gotta move on Saturday. I took tomorrow off of work to pack my house. So now the one-armed man is gonna be moving my house. At least I hired a moving company, but holy shit. This is probably the worst timing ever for this. And even worse than that, I'm like in a really interesting part of Red Dead Redemption, which I play on PlayStation 4. You know, Red Dead Redemption 2, which I've never played before. I'm at like this really interesting part, and my fucking hand, like I can't move my house. I can't even play video games. I'm fucked. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'll just have to talk shit on the internet and do research. Oh well. This is my week. Anyways, so here's some more stories about Tobey Hospital. Let's do some more here. So a couple of months ago, my son had like a really, really bad fever, like 103 fever. So we'd already given him Tylenol and everything to get the fever to come down, and it wasn't working. So we decided to take him to the ER based on calling in to the pediatrician and all this. So we rushed to Tobey Hospital in Wareham because it's the nearest ER to where I live here in South Plymouth. And when we get there, this is all before Corona Chan, this story. And we get there, it must have been more than a couple months ago. This is probably like a year or so ago. So he must have been like a little over 1 year old. So we get there with a 1 year old who's having over 103 degree temperature. And we're in the ER because we're very concerned about this. And they stuck us in the waiting room for at least 35 minutes that time. And when they finally took us into a back room, which was way later, they didn't even put us into like a room. They had us in the hallway. So they had like a bed in the hallway, and that's where they stuck us. So we were just on like a bed on a cot in the hallway outside of all the rooms that are like the rooms for their ER department. And they left us there for like 20 some odd minutes as well. So almost an hour after arriving at the hospital with an infant that has 103 something degree temperature, they didn't do anything for us. They didn't check him. They didn't get his temperature. They didn't make sure he was okay. Nothing. Nothing. Like, and this is one of my most frustrating things with like the clown world that we live in right now is people aren't doing their jobs. Like they just don't do their jobs at all. And that experience, and my wife will also testify to this, if like Tobey gets mad and sues me over this video. Okay? See it? And that's the wounded hand right there. Okay? Fuck you. Okay, so down the hallway, there was another family during there, and their daughter or son was like so sick. This wasn't my kid. This was another family. Was so sick that they were just throwing up and throwing up. And I felt horrible for this family because they were horrified about what was going on with their child. Their child was just vomiting continuously. And all they did was stick that kid in the hallway and give the parents a bucket. Yeah. So this is my warning to anyone out there that might be Googling a hospital. And I'm going to make sure that everyone can see this video because I'm going to SEO the fuck out of it by putting all types of stuff about Tobey in the description box, and make sure that everyone's aware of what Tobey Hospital does to their patients and how they treat people. Okay? Because I've never, ever been treated that badly by any hospital ever. Like, I've had all types of injuries over the years. All types of injuries. Never been treated like this by any hospital, and it's happened 2 for 2. 2 for 2 times at the ER at Tobey Hospital. That they have, in my opinion, neglected my child when we brought him in there with an extremely high fever. And they neglected, they left me sitting in their ER today for 20-something minutes bleeding profusely out of my hand. What if, they didn't even look to make sure it wasn't an artery or something? What if I was bleeding out of one of my arteries and I bled out in their waiting room? They're more concerned about people not filming the conditions there than they are about making people sure they're safe. If the Hippocratic Oath was a thing, it doesn't exist at Tobey Hospital. Do not go there for any reason at all. Ever. I would never get any elective anything there ever. And if you're sick, it'll be faster for you to drive further away to another hospital than it will for you to be seen there, because they'll leave you in the waiting room so long at Tobey that it'll be literally quicker for you to drive to another hospital. So just drive further away. Just don't drive there. Don't go there. No one ever go there. It's the worst fucking hospital. It's worse than hospitals in foreign countries by a lot. Let's just put it that way. Third world countries have better care than Tobey Hospital. Don't go there. That's all I got to say. Oh, and the Corona Chan thing's a total fucking scam. Yep. Peace, everyone. And that previous video is not getting deleted either. You can go fuck yourselves. Sue me.